This is our approach of how we see a healthy relationship with food. And if you're a student studying with us, I think it can be really beneficial to write your list of what you believe is a healthy relationship with food, and so that you can understand your beliefs and behaviors, so that you know what you're bringing into the space with your coaching clients. So at the heart of our approach to healthy relationships is the purpose of food is nourishment, is nourishing the body of something that we are caring for and looking after, and that is at the forefront. I also quite like the purpose of food being enjoyment. I think enjoyment's often missed when it comes to food, because we have all of this, well, I need to be thin, or I need it to be doing this, or I need to be punishing myself with food. Whereas the word that I'm thinking of is abundance. So my own personal experience of any kind of eating plan that I've worked with, as soon as I feel restriction, I know I'm not in a particularly healthy mental place. It's as soon as I feel that I'm in an abundant place, I feel much more joyous and in a much better, healthier relationship with my food. And so that can be something to spot with your clients. Now, it amazes me that one of the first recommendations that we work with is cutting out the wheat, first of all, and then sometimes pulling back on grains as well, because of the inflammation that they can cause. And because the majority of people that we're working with have digestive issues and hormonal issues and endocrine issues. And so grains can be a big driver of those inflammation conditions. So I can start with a client by recommending that they cut wheat out. Now, if they've got a diet of toast in the morning and a sandwich for lunch and pasta for dinner, it sometimes surprises me that some clients are, what am I going to eat? That's so restrictive. How can I not eat bread? It's a really interesting place to coach. Is the way that I work with it is, what do you enjoy? What foods do you enjoy? Let's create a list of foods that you enjoy, and I give them the PFC plan, and they mark off what and start to build their plan, because I'm not their parent. I'm not going to be telling them what to eat. They create their own eating plan on the guidelines and the information and the education that I offer. Whether they choose to take it or not is not my responsibility. My responsibility is the education piece. I think letting go of diet mentality is that I'm going to do this for a period of time, and it is restrictive, and it can be quite punishing, and I'm trying to change the way I look, can be very much the diet mentality. Reframing with clients about the purpose of eating and the purpose of what their food choices are, and see if they can choose food that is going to nourish them and that they are going to enjoy. Eating real food. I've got a slide coming up about ultra processed foods and how addictive they are. Really helping clients understand what real food is. We've talked about the intuitive eating, listening to the responses of our body, stopping when we're full, responding when we're hungry, helping clients learn that. And I think a big part of our approach to healthy relationships with food is the emotional intelligence, and the emotional intelligence around the awareness of what our behaviors are, and making conscious decisions to choose something else from a place of being an adult and having deep self-love. And so if we can choose food from a place of self-love, I actually think that might be the bottom line for me when it comes to a healthy relationship with food. Takes some work.
I think it all comes down to it, if I'm honest. But the food is just, like you said earlier, the behavior is the food. It's just like the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? When you think of the iceberg of the behavior, thoughts and feelings iceberg, and actually what underneath all that is that kind of consciousness to self and awareness of self and respect for self, love for self, of all those things, and exploring, like you said, like learn to know when I'm full, when to stop. How many people just can't leave anything on the plate? They have to eat it because it's on the plate. Like those, like which seem like really everyday behaviors, but actually taking a moment to explore that. Why can't I leave something on the plate? What's the ingrainedness that's going to happen? What's going to happen if I do? Where's it come from? Like, as a child, did you always have to empty your plate? Like, you couldn't get down from the table, you couldn't have any fun, you couldn't have pudding, you couldn't have this unless your plate is empty. So how much are we taking that into our adult self? And then, okay, well, I can't go and do the things I want to do in life now until my plate's empty. And that ingrained behavior, actually, but I'm not full, but I'm going to keep on eating it because. So yeah, it's I think, yeah,
it's a
it's
huge
crazy.
subject. It's a huge subject.
It's huge. Just to add on, sorry, what you said about what are you going to with the people with the fallout of, oh my god, take wheat out of your diet. It's great, isn't it? It's like, it is the biggest one I think of. Literally, you've just told me I can't ever eat again when you started to mention that, and people's responses are so huge and fearful and panicked stricken quite often of, oh my god, like, I don't even know where to begin with this, and blah, blah, blah. And I really loved what you said about kind of them creating their list of foods, and kind of, what can you eat, what do you like off this list. I was just going to offer my option as well, is along with that, is what's doable, what's realistic. Like, if you're having all this stuff all the time, and rather than let's do a blanket switch, can we do one day? Can we do one lunchtime meal that you go to the M&S over the road and you buy your sandwich? Can you, on that one day of the week, go to your M&S but buy some chicken and some olives and something else? Can you do it one day? And often that's I can do that for one day, because I know I've still got my safety blanket of my other sandwiches. And what I find with that is, obviously, in our knowledge, we're like, oh, one day, what's that? It's one day out of all those opportunities. But what my experience with my clients is that as soon as you give that option and that permission, is that one day, by the time they come and see you again, has actually become many times more than one day. And they've actually done the whole process off their own back without having been told, take all this stuff out your diet. They've actually gone, well, actually, I managed to do it 3 days of my week. So each one of those days I've gone, and brilliant. So they start to see the benefits, start to take that active role in their own health and their own choices. And it's really, it comes back really empowering. So that's another option, is what's doable for you. Like, what's reality? What doesn't petrify you so much that this can't be done?